Okay, it should be live, I think. Just waiting for the page to come up. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Love Speaks Love. Just give us a little second. And I have to turn this volume down. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Love Speaks Love. Just give us a little second. There we go. I'm just going to close some windows as well. There we go. Focusing on technical stuff. There we are. Right. I'm going to open Facebook on my phone. All right. Does that sound okay? You can hear me all right? Do you want to just speak again, Bev? Because I turned the computer down. I want to make sure.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Such a professional. All right. Here we are. It's Love Speaks Love. It's the 4th of August, and my beautiful guest today is my dear sister, Bev Pirie. Welcome to Love Speaks Love.
Thank you, Denise. Thanks for having me, and welcome everyone.
All right, I'm just going to double check that we are live and do a few shares. And if anybody feels to share, I would be really grateful for that. Yeah, I think there's something going on with the algorithms. I know a lot of people say that, and I've never experienced it before, but there's definitely appears to be something going on at the moment. So I'll just share it to a couple of places. My tech brain is not functioning today. There we go. Share it to a few groups. All right, I think I might leave it there for now and share it to a few more later. Okay. I'm going to open that up so I can see the comments. There we go. Sound is good.
All good.
Morning. Welcome, everybody. It's lovely to be here with you all in these super strong energies at the starting with the Lionsgate energies, which have been coming in for a few days, and peaking on the 8th. And I've just come back from Glastonbury, so there's a lot of integration, I would say, going on with me at the moment. And interestingly, and I do find this very interesting that there's something going on here, that Bev is going to Glastonbury this coming weekend, and we're slap bang in the middle of the week in between. And it feels like there's some weaving going on, there's some bridging going on of the energies. And I've never been called to Glastonbury so much as I'm being called at the moment. And I know you're feeling the same. I'll ask you about that in a second. I'm feeling to just do the heart-to-heart connect. So I invite us all, if you're in a position to do so and you would like to close your eyes, not if you're driving, and let us all connect our energies together. All of us watching live, all of us watching on the replay and on YouTube. And let us bring our awareness into our heart space, in the center of our chest. And let us all breathe love into our beautiful hearts. And on your out breath, breathing out anything of the day so far, or the week, or the time ahead, anything that's stopping you from being in this now moment. Breathing love into every cell of your body, deep into the DNA, And extending our heart awareness out now to the heart of Gaia. And just feeling that feeling of being held within Gaia's beautiful diamond heart. And feeling Gaia's love for you, for all of us. Feeling her recognition and her gratitude for all that you do and all that you are. And feeling that love pouring into every cell of your body. And extending that heart awareness out now to the heart of the sun. Feeling those solar frequencies moving into your heart, into your solar plexus, which is like your solar battery, and into every cell of your body. And extending, excuse me, extending that heart awareness out to Source Creator. Feeling the love from Source moving into your body, into every cell. Feeling us connecting with the crystalline frequencies, the crystalline grid of Earth, of new Earth. And while we're in that beautiful space of love, if there's any person, situation, anything at all that you wish to send love to, while we're in this collective space, then now is a good time to do that. And feeling us all in that one unified collective field of love. And I don't know if there's anything that you wish to add to that, Bev, or if that feels complete.
Feels complete to me, Denise. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. So opening your eyes when you're ready. Oh, that's better.
Thank you for that.
My absolute pleasure. So Love Speaks Love is a platform for people to get to know other people a little bit better, for us to share our wisdom, our experiences, sometimes a process. And there is a channel on YouTube, Inner Peace with Denise, and all the previous episodes of Love Speaks Love are on there too. And my beautiful guest today, as I said earlier, is Bev Pirie. Welcome, sweetheart.
Thank you and welcome everybody. And thank you for inviting me, Denise. It's a privilege to be on your show. I've been watching you for a good while and it's amazing. I love watching the people having the opportunity to really just to be themselves, just be true to themselves and be able to share aspects of their life. And it's inspirational to other people as well, particularly in these times.
Yeah, I so hear that. I so hear that. And there's a lot about being seen. That it feels like that's going on for a lot of people at the moment, and it's different levels. You know, when I started the YouTube channel, it was, you know, I didn't necessarily plan to do lives, but I wanted to get videos up there and be seen more. And you think you're being seen, and then you realize that you're still holding back a little bit, and there's more to open up. And I just wonder, I think you're going through a bit of the same stuff at the moment too.
I am. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a heck of a ride in the last, well, actually, probably the last 2 years of definitely, I've felt a big shift. I mean, my awareness has been very, I mean, in terms of what I do, I'm a spiritual medium. I mean, I connect with spirit. So that's my passion. My passion is providing evidence that once our physical body, our vessel is completed, the journey is completed, that we actually have a space within consciousness, and we go to a realm, as we have to use these terms for us to fully engage and understand that. That's my main role in life. That's been with me all my life. It's been the last 10 years when I've really used it. But other things have come into play as well. So I've done healing modalities, but I'm a natural healer, and I didn't realise that when my hands are very hot when I touch people, and I didn't have any understanding of what that was. So I've done the healing as well. And then I've been massively interested in trance mediumship and configuration, which is spirit using your energy. So they can use your energy to speak and to physically blend with you in a way that they can be seen and be heard, that bit more than what I do in an everyday life. So that's been coming in. I've been working on that for a while. And light languages is something that's been coming in as well. In the last year and a half, I was introduced to that. But as a child, interestingly, I spoke tongues that I didn't understand and didn't realise that's what it was. I was very much on my own, playing in playgrounds, and singing and toning and not realising. And there was no words coming out, it was just noise. And I was writing, I used to doodle and doodle with dots and squiggles and things, and again didn't realise it. I just thought it was doodling, and of course life gets very busy, and a lot of these things you tend to put to one side, and that's been coming back to me, and memories have been coming back to me. So it's like remembrance. This is who you are, this is who you've always been, this is part of you. So there's just been lots and lots of different things, and it feels as if it's been layers upon layers, but it has been coming in and in and in and in, definitely in the last 2 years. In the last, since everything started to happen in the narrative since last March, it's coming tenfold, and there's that many differences that have been coming in. It's been a heck of a journey, but I'm so embracing it, so loving it. People that have known me a fair while see a very big difference in the way that I am. I'm speaking my truth more than ever done. Like yourself, often just to appease others and to try and stay within, to be not necessarily be quiet, because I couldn't be quiet if I tried. But I never shared all of me to everybody. I never did that. And people had misconceptions about me. I was always loud and things like that. I've always been loud. I've always been confident. But there was lots of things about me, about myself, that I knew about that never shared. There's people that's known me 30 years and didn't know I connected to spirit. So, oh yeah, even my family on both sides, in-laws as well as immediate family. So there's so much about me that people don't really know. We're all like that, I'm sure. There's many things about each other that we have things that we don't share. And a lot of that is judgment, isn't it? We judge ourselves. We think, what will people think? So yeah, there's been a lot of revealing. There's been things about me that I hadn't realised have been part of my life, but they've come back to me now, from childhood to now. Yeah, it's just, honestly. And when you say you call to Glastonbury, so I'll go on Friday. And honestly, I've been to Glastonbury, this will be my 3rd time this year, and it's such a calling to go there. But I also think it's not necessarily, it's the place, but actually it's the people as well, and it's the connections that you make while you're there. But I'm really called to go and to put my feet on the land. A huge calling to do that. So I go on Friday, and I'll be there for the 8th, and I'll be on the tour on the 8th, on the Lionsgate, which I never thought that's something I would ever do. Very excited about just being there, really. So yeah, there's just so many things. I'm writing things, and oh gosh, the list is endless. So many things.
Yeah, there's so much from what you've shared there. I want to ask you about your childhood, but I just want to say that there's something about connecting with our Indigenous selves, our Indigenous roots, through being in Glastonbury, and that to me is the magic of it. It's the magic that we've lost. And it's the magic that we're tapping into again that is so, so strong there and has been kept alive. And it's really tapping into the ancestors.
Oh yeah, I agree. I've always I've always enjoyed, and I've always been in nature. Yeah, and one of the things I've noted is I've been really pulled to be in the nature, on the land, barefoot on the land, near water, the sound of water, seeing the light code, seeing all the lights flickering, being mesmerized. But going to the land, I was connecting to the yew trees in the Chalice Well, and the energy was so strong, it was pulling through my entire body and my arms, and I openly started to speak ancestry. I feel like it was ancestry like language, because I'm still understanding that, and I didn't care that anyone was there. I just gave. And it's the same when you walk on the land. There's something about it. I don't, like you say, it's almost, there's ancestry. I don't think I can actually describe it. Every place I've been in the place, even down to the White Springs, every single place, I've had a different experience within each of it. And each one of them has been as powerful as the other. And it's almost as if you're taking layers. Do you know what I mean? I can't explain it. And each time I've gone, it's the 2 times I've been, it's been more powerful. And then, like you, I've needed to integrate for a week. It's because the energies have been so incredible. But I believe that Gaia is, we understand that there's a massive shift in the collective, and the energy within the ground itself and the ley lines there, you just can feel. You just feel it.
Yeah.
It's just so powerful. It really is. So yeah, so I'm obviously meant to be there because I wasn't going, and there we are.
I invite you also. The White Spring is open on I think it's just open on a Sunday at the moment. I think that's still the case. I didn't actually dip in this time. I have before. It's an amazing experience to dip in and cleanse your body.
Yeah.
But I also invite you if it's closed, and I was doing this every time I filled my water up, because you can sing through the gates.
Yes.
It's the back wall and it comes back to you. And there's a certain note, which I think is like the overall note of the cave there, of the room. And everything starts to vibrate back, and it sounds like the water singing back to you. And it may happen on more than one note, but I did notice there was a particular note that I was hitting that seemed even more pronounced. I'm getting quite teary speaking about this. And there was one time that I was doing it, and I got there, and there was a young woman singing there, and she was like, I just was compelled to do it. I don't normally sing, but I just wondered what it would feel like, and it's really beautiful. And then I started singing, and she'd gone by this time. We had a little chat, and then she left, and so I was on my own. And I was really comfortable to just sing to the water, giving thanks. It's like an exchange, kind of thanking the water for the water that I was taking as well, kind of giving back to it. And my eyes were closed, and I wasn't really aware of my surroundings so much, but someone had stepped in next to me, and she started singing really quietly. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I was kind of like hoping that she'd sing louder. And I looked over a couple of times, and she was, head against the gate, just looking forward. But she started singing louder. And we started weaving our vocals together. So she would harmonize with me, and then I'd harmonize with her. And this beautiful, so shivery saying this beautiful layering of sound, and the harmonics when you create harmony like that, it just brings in all these different frequencies of energy. It was really, really beautiful. And when we kind of finished, we looked to each other, we had a hug, and it was beautiful. I didn't know this woman, I'd never seen her before. and I never saw her again. I think she was going the next day, but it was such a beautiful experience. And she was saying the same, how she's only now just starting to find her voice, be comfortable singing. She wasn't sure if it was all right to sing with me in the beginning, and you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
Well, you know, I kind of resonate with that in a really big way, because, well, I can feel it while you're telling me anyway, so I can feel that energy. And we were allowed to go in there. We were allowed to go in, but while we were waiting outside, this was when I went in June for Lisa Bardell's Avalonia retreat, and I'm doing a second one with her this weekend. That was just off the chart. We just had the most amazing time together. All of us goddesses, all, you know, just doing our weaving, and we were stood outside waiting, and there was a group of people singing in there. So I've heard the acoustics that it creates, and it comes to you. It actually comes to you through the door. I mean, our hearts were just expanding. I mean, we were getting shivers, and so I experienced it from the perspective of not actually singing but receiving from the gateway. But we also, in the Abbey, in the corner of the Abbey where the tower is, we stood in there, and OMG, I mean, there was 8 of us and 6 of us, and Lisa started and I started, and I don't let go. I really don't. Honestly, Denise, you'll be surprised, even though I can talk, you know, the true, that deep, 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 right down there, who you really truly are, that's been, you know, all of that's been put on there to hold it in and hold it down. And, you know, well, it rose and it rose and it rose and it rose. And it was so powerful, powerful. It was incredible. And it was so much so, there was a medieval fair, and 2 men, or a man, came to the door and asked us to stop, that we hadn't had permission. And we wouldn't stop. We couldn't stop. We had to carry on. And he was saying, you need to stop now, you need to stop now. So some of the girls sort of started to step down, and I carried on, because I had this dragon energy, and it was going and going and going. And then I was doing codes with my hands, and I was closing the door. I was seriously, it was incredible. So I've had the White Springs experience, and then I've sung in the tower, and that tower's got acoustics which are incredible. In fact, Susanna Mara did a little live. Did you see the other day? I think she did a live in there. Oh, and for her first real giving, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So there is some real powerful points, isn't there, in Glastonbury, where you can really let your soul rise, just let go, to just let go. We don't truly we're so busy trying to fit in and be what we think people expect of us, that our true authentic self just really gets pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. And then when it starts to rise, people think you're going all radical, or you know, or that you're going, you know, who is this person? I don't recognize this person. And this is what I'm experiencing, you know, that people are not recognizing this part of me. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. I'm good with that, you know. I don't mind. I'm not worried about what other people think. I'm, you know, I will be me, and all them layers, you know. So yeah, it was an incredible experience, and you can't put into words the sounds and the octaves and the levels and the frequencies, and you can physically feel them, and you can't put that. It's so hard to explain what it is, and how it kind of resonates within your entire body. You can feel everything is shaking, but in a really beautiful way, in a very deep emotional way. So much releasing. It's really good. So I'm no doubting it'll happen again.
Yeah, and these things aren't planned.
No.
A beautiful Sahara Celestial, Susanna Mara, Natalie Fishwick, another beautiful sister called
There's
AI.
Joe as well, wasn't there? Joe was there as well. Yeah. Was Joe there?
That was a different day.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
There was a lot happening. It's hard to like place
Yeah.
which ones were which.
Yeah.
Joe was the day before. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome as well. That ceremony that we did was awesome. And the 5 of us, which to me was representing the 5-pointed star, but I didn't think about this at the time. We had been singing in the White Spring, and then we kind of, the biggest pool, we found ourselves standing on the edge there, and it hadn't really been planned and felt a bit weird as well. I had to keep my eyes open because I knew I'd overbalance and either go backwards on the stone floor or head first in the water. And that was really beautiful as well. That was a spontaneous, we all started singing together. But that, so the place that you were talking about in the Abbey is the kitchen.
That's
So
it.
how very extravagant of the monks to build a kitchen with such incredible acoustics. And as you say, that it's like a tower. It goes really high. Yeah. And I'm sure it was used as a kitchen at a later point, but I don't think that's why it was built, because the acoustics in there were just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Suzanne and I and Sarah Devereaux, a dear sister of mine who I met in Australia, we were in the Abbey and we're like, where should we go now? And we just kind of wandered down there, not realizing where we were going, went in, and then you could just hear the reverb. And I haven't done the post for that yet, but it's another post that I intend to do, with a little bit of us weaving our vocals in there. It's, yeah, a very, very powerful place. And again, it was just a spontaneous, we didn't even know that building was there. We just walked down because that was where we were guided to, and then started singing in there. And I really honor you for carrying on, as you were saying before, because that's not easy to do. And there must have been something very, very powerful for you in doing that.
There was
something very liberating.
Yeah, I really could not stop. It was like, you're not going to stop me. You are not going to stop this. I have been quiet with this for way too long. And as a sovereign being with her bare feet on the land, and she wishes to use her voice box to express herself, you are not shutting me down. And it was that feeling of power to say, I'm standing my sovereignty. You're going to have to give me 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure, some people might have a different view of that. But let me tell you, when I say that the acoustics and the sounds that were coming and the weaving we were doing were incredible. And there was 2 gentlemen that were sat outside when we came round from the back, and they were sat outside, and we came round, and this guy says, was it you that was making the sounds in there? And I said, yeah. And the guys looked at each other and smiled, and they said, that was beautiful. So, and the other guy at the side was the guy who'd asked us to stop. And he didn't know what to do with himself, but the guy smiled and said, beautiful. So, but yeah, I know, and I know as a city, I mean, obviously it's very, historically, it's just got so much history to it, and the land is just full and full and full of layers upon layers upon layers. There's ley lines on there. There's so many. There's 7 springs meeting points. There's just so much magic within the land, and we know that as a place. We know as a place that there are also, I have to mention this, Denise, we have to say this because we get polarities and everything. We've got a lot of people that live there that are not switched on, very the opposite way. And we've got others that are very switched on that live there. So we get the polarity, we get that, the balance as always. But I focus on the land, and I focus on the spaces. I don't focus on the people. I don't go into the shops. I only go and get what I need and come out. Do you know what I mean? I'm more interested in the points of reference and interest to me. I'm not interested in the other things. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel very drawn to go into that. I feel more drawn to go to the spaces. But yeah, so it's so yes, that's another thing that's going on this month.
I just muted myself then. I'm pet sitting at the moment. And Oreo was just saving me from the neighbours, which is awesome of her to do that, because clearly the neighbours were about to come in if she hadn't barked.
Ah.
No. Yeah, I'm totally with you. It is, the polarities are quite extreme there.
Yeah.
But I would say I feel that the overall energy of Glastonbury is a lot lighter.
Yes.
I hadn't been for 2 years, and this time was the first time that I went up the tour since I moved back to England. The last time that I went, I think, was 7 years ago. I hadn't realised it was so long.
Oh, there's your 7-year cycle.
And it was like I had to wait for certain frequencies to, because you get that sometimes. It's like you can't mix the frequencies, you can't mix the keys and the codes until a certain time. So yeah, and I didn't intend to go up. I just was filling my water up, and then I found my legs going left. So yeah, that was interesting, and I'd just eaten too. I wouldn't normally. I wouldn't not, because it's quite a climb.
It is.
It's not a small hill.
No,
and I
really
maybe stop 5 or 6 times to look at the view and catch my breath.
Which is code for breath, yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, when the first time we ever went up the tour, it's something I'd always wanted to do. I went with Rachel, Sophia. We went together, 2 other friends, 4 of us, back in April. First time, I really struggled with the pain in the knees, and I got to the middle line and I was like, OMG, I don't know if I can get up here. This is incredible. My chest was pounding, my heart was pounding. I felt sick. You realise how unfit you are, but it is a task anyway. So I got to the top and I felt so overwhelmed when I got to the top because I was so exhausted, and it was such a climb, but the view was worth it and the experience was worth it, and I loved it. The second time I went up there in the June, which was the retreat, and my energy and everything about that was completely different. And I got to the midpoint to stop because others were stopping and I didn't want to pass them. So it gave me a minute, and I just took my time in a really steady step. And I got to the top and I was hardly out of breath, no pain. It was unbelievable. I felt as if I was carried. I can't explain that in any other way because the difference was phenomenal. When I got to the top, everyone ran up to me and cheered because they knew I talked about how it's going to be a journey for me because of the previous. And I looked down on one of the steps and it said, "Don't stop, you're nearly there." So I was like, keep going, keep going, keep going, you know. But anyway, I got up the top and I was really pleased, and then took a photograph of myself, just snugged into the corner, took a picture of myself. You've done it, girly, you know, you got up this time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it then. I did enjoy the space then and everything else. So yeah, so there's so that's that to look forward to. And it is interesting that you've already been, and then there's a little bit of a break, a couple of days, and then I'm going down there. So it's interesting because we talked about energies, and we've talked about that before we've come live. And one of the things that we're trying to do now is integrate all the energies that are coming in, because we've obviously got lots of things, planetary, stars, we've got Sirius, we've got Lionsgate. Really, the energies are just super amping up. Some people are having some really very, very deep shadow work. There's a lot of people that are having all of the numerology, the numbers. I woke this morning at 444, literally ping wide awake. And then I had this incredible wave of energy run through me. So powerful, and the heart open. But it was such a jolt that I actually felt sick with it, you know, and disorientated. But a lot of people are having serious, heavy ascension symptoms as well. So I've got a lot of that going on. And some people are just gliding through it. and not really having any kind of symptoms or any changing, you know. So there's lots going on energetically wise. And I think as we run up to the 8th and then beyond to the 12th, I mean, there is obviously some discrepancies regarding the actual dates, but we focus on the key number being that it's the infinity, which is the 8. So we know that's why we focus on that, because it is an infinity. But it's an opportunity, isn't it? This particular time is to let go of a lot of the shadow. And when people talk of the shadow, it's basically any crap you've been holding on to is the better way of perhaps saying it. But anything that you've had that perhaps you've pushed down, you know, any issues that you may have had, any forgivenesses, maybe you've had some real deep frustrations, maybe there's stuff that you thought you'd cleared out, you know, from past memories, past experiences, because people say the word shadow and they don't fully kind of understand what that means. And I didn't for a long time, but then I realized what they were referring to was things that you feel that you've dealt with that you haven't fully let the trauma go. And it's a memory within your body and your energy field, and you've just got to let this go. Otherwise, to be moving forward, it's harder. And if you hold on to things, it means that your body's much you know, your energy in your body is heavier, isn't it? So your light body becomes lighter and you become lighter, and the codes and everything else, you know, all the frequencies can work through you quicker and easier, and it's more adaptable. So there's lots and lots of reasons why, because I have spoken to so many people that are not necessarily understanding, but they're saying, I don't know why, but this keeps raising its head, and I thought I dealt with this, and I don't know what's going on. And the other night I had a full-blown anxiety attack over something that happened 10 years ago. Why is that coming back to me? Why am I thinking about that? Or something that happened as a child. So I'm trying to explain that it's the body, it's the mind, you've just got to learn to sort of let go of these things. Obviously, it's a lot more in depth than that, and it's a quick overview, but you know, that's my understanding of what it is. And so I've been going through you know what, Denise, been having to let go of an awful lot, stuff from my childhood, stuff from, and I, don't get me wrong, I love my family dearly on both sides, but I'm having to let going of relationships, friendships. There's so much stuff coming in at the moment, you know, and it is quite heavy going, but I'm more than okay with it because I understand what's happening, you know. But there is a lot of change for people, a lot of change. And of course, there's what's playing out outside of ourselves is having a huge impact on people as well, you know, decision making and how they're integrating with people. And don't you think that, I don't know that you're in the same place as myself, but how many new people have come into your life? How many people and all these sparks meeting each other, all these beautiful people weaving and getting together. I mean, I've spoken with people on Facebook for years, such as yourself, but for years, never met up. And this last year and a half, I've been meeting up with people that I've been speaking to for a long time. I've met Suzanne like a week last Wednesday, and I met Lisa on the retreat. And there's people that I'm meeting up with, and they're becoming a tribe. They really are. And they get you, and you don't need to explain. You don't need to explain, you know. So, and you know, it's a real, it's a really interesting time. It is.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, when you start on the spiritual journey, often there's a change in your friends. You know, the ones that you're still in resonance with, you stay friends with, but there's a lot that you find that you're just not in resonance with anymore.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like that's being fine-tuned at the moment, and more people are coming in that are really in strong resonance with you.
Yes.
Whether they're soul family or it's more of a like resonance, a frequency resonance connection, it doesn't really matter.
No.
And people that you thought were soul family, they may well be, but you're not always in resonance with anymore. So there's letting go of those too. Yeah, totally hear you.
there's a lot of people witnessing that happen, you know, where they've known people for a very long time, and it's almost as if you're speaking different languages to each other, and there's no love lost. I still love all those people with my heart. I really do, and I genuinely care, genuinely love and care for them. That won't stop, that won't end, you know. But I feel as though, as you say, others are coming in with the understanding of those conversations and those needs to do the weaving, to be physically with them, to stand on the land, to do the light language, to send the healing into the ground, all of those things. And I just feel like I've been switched on, lit up more than ever to do the work. And it's not that I don't, as I say, it's not that I don't care and love people, but my focus is elsewhere right now. And that's it, you know, my focus is elsewhere. My focus is with the work. That's what I feel. And I'm learning things all the time, learning things about myself all the time, you know, all the time.
Absolutely. This is Oreo.
Oreo, hello, my darling.
Oreo has a very big heart, don't you, sweetheart? Hey, don't you? Be quiet. Yeah, no, I totally. Oh, you're a bit heavy. There you go. Yeah, absolutely, 100% with what you're saying. And I feel that it's those of us that are feeling that now is the time to stand up and be seen. It's like we're coming together at the moment too.
Yeah.
And I feel that we're really gathering together the UK tribe, and that there'll be many tribes, and a lot of them will overlap and weave together. You know, there'll be cross-pollination between the tribes as well, but it does feel very potent, the energy of coming together. Lisa, I met randomly when I was down there last time, actually. Suzanne and I had walked through Chalicewell Gardens and seen her, and I didn't really connect with her because we were just on our way out. But she was in the same place that I was in at dinner, and she walked out, and we made a little connection. So yeah, sometimes it's names that you've kind of, you know, had in your periphery. And interestingly, I was looking up someone else on Facebook and she came up. So I'd actually just, you know, kind of clocked her before that time too. So it's interesting how those synchronicities come together. But it does, you know, when we did Voices of the Light Tribe, which is, is that 2 or 3 years ago? I think it's 2 years ago. It felt like the tribe wasn't really together then. That was instrumental for me, at least, in bringing together some of the tribe. But now we're really locked. The energies are really locked, and it's a very powerful weave that's coming together. And I feel in some ways, and I could be wrong on this, I feel that the tribe is a little, or has been a little bit more together already in the US. And I feel like we're only just starting to weave together now.
Yeah, well, that's sorry, go on.
It's amazing connecting online like this, but it does go to another level when you actually meet in person.
Absolutely. And it, you know, I don't know. I believe that everything is timed, perfectly timed. Everything has its time, everything. And the amount of times that Suzanne's private messaged me and said, if you're down and you've done the same, oh my God, are you in Glastonbury now? And I'll go, no. And you go, damn, here's my number. Why are you not in Glastonbury? I thought you were, you know. It's all to timing. We will meet up. We will get together. When we do, it will be absolutely insane. And I know it will be. And that's, like I keep saying, it's all about timing. And it doesn't have to be in Glasgow. It will be anywhere. It will be anywhere. There'll be an invitation, come, and that will be it. You know, it'll be meeting. And I believe that the universe conspires to get everyone together, that they need to be together at any one point, that then can create the energy that's required in that now moment. And that is exactly what's happening. All these points of reference, all these people, we are lighting up. what Spirit showed me was the world with a couple of little light spots, yeah, over a few years ago, a couple of light spots in different countries. And then they recently showed me all these light points, and they are literally bounce, 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 bounce. They're everywhere now. So people are literally being activated, and they are activating, randomly activating. Some people have not even understood any of this, and they're having full-blown Kundalini awakenings. They're having full-blown awakening in terms, when I say awakening, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean consciously awake, consciously understanding all of this. And these are people that have not really ever had any of this on the radar at all. And then this last year, it's been, whoa, you know, oh my goodness, this is incredible. I'm you know, randomly doing this, or I'm doing that. And it's, and they're then looking for the people who can understand them. And then they're becoming their tribe, or their, as you call it, tribe, you know, that the people that they're helping them to light them up. And this is what's happening. We're weaving, and we are like literally activating each other, as though Gaia's doing the work. You know, she's reminding us, because we need to be, because what we are needing to do is bring a lot of light into the world, and that is what we're trying to do. I mean, it's not even trying, we are doing it, and we've been doing it for a long time, you know. And I was probably doing it, as I say, as a child, in what I was experiencing, along with Spirit and everything else. There's so many things that I can remember in my life that were points of which I now understand was me taking a layer off. There were so many big points, so many big points. 2013, would you like me to share this, Denise? Yeah. So 2013, I had a breakdown, as such, if you want to call a breakdown, suicidal. And I had an exit date. There's a whole story leading up to that, but I'll go to the point where I was making a decision. I was finding a space to leave this world. Okay. And it was a very dark time. I had absolutely no wish to be here at all. And nothing in that moment could prevent me from stepping out. And a pouring heavy storm was on my head in the middle of woods, and I was on the floor sobbing, asking for help to the source, the universe. And I was told quite clearly in my mind, trust. In fact, I heard trust. And I was asked to get up and trust. And I looked, as I got up, my poor dog Sky was wet through at the side of his sodden, bless him. And I looked up into the sky, and there was this most amazing rainbow I have never seen the colours of since. And I was hit in the heart chakra in the most profound way that I couldn't breathe. And I was told to go home and trust I had a purpose to be here. Even though I didn't understand that, I listened and I walked home. And when I landed home, my husband, because we'd had a row as I'd left, which was the breaking point. It wasn't him, it was the circumstances with my mental health, because of the lead up to it, which was a big story in itself. And he asked me, as I walked through the door, he asked me, was I okay? And I said, I need to go. So it's either we get the house sold, or I need to go, because I can't stay in this house. I can't stay here. He didn't realize what I meant by I can't stay here. And he said yes, when he'd been saying no to me for the longest time. And in that moment, everything changed. We put the house on the market. It was sold on my granddad's birthday. We moved in here on the 7th of April, 2014. And that was the starting point for my absolute journey, which is 7.5 years now, thereabouts, where everything started to fall into place. And all of the things, I was still working at the bank at the time, and I felt as if my living soul was being drained from me being in the bank. And that's no disrespect to people that I was working with, but that was how I was feeling. But I knew that I had to leave. I had to leave work, and I had to trust everything. So I gave my job up, everything. nearly 5 years ago, I gave my job up, but everything started to change from here, and everything that I became started from that point. And so I knew that there was some reason why that had happened. When they said trust, I knew that there was a bigger reason. And I started to really engage within my mediumship and go to workshops and go to churches and go to various places and learn crystal healing, learn Reiki and master teacher and learn all of this and all the modalities. And I wanted to learn and understand and work for spirit and do the work and have the understanding. And all of that has been unfolding for the last 7 years. There's 7 cycles, isn't there? There's always a cycle. And I thoroughly trusted spirit. I knew that they had something in mind for me. But in 2019, towards the end of 2019, they gave me a message and told me that things were going to change in the world in 2020 from March onward. And I had to hold power and I had to hold my inner strength. And there was a bigger reason. And this is one of the reasons I was here, amongst many others, is what was said, amongst many others, I was here to make a change. I had no understanding of what they meant. And that's been documented and that's been verbalized to many witnesses in 2019. I couldn't open my diary beyond March. I couldn't. And of course, we know what happened in March. And since March, all of the other aspects of me of becoming online, switching on more and more and more and more. And I'm no longer eat meat. Haven't eaten meat since Christmas Day. I don't drink alcohol. And when I do, it is literally the rarest thing. I just don't bother. I drink lots of filtered water, you know, and herbal teas. I'd rather have an herbal tea than a glass of wine any day of the week now. So many things. I can't listen to TV. I can't listen to the news. I can't watch films. I can't watch anything to do with any kind of violence, anything. There's so many things, Denise, that's changed for me. I actually look at myself and don't often recognize me because I go, wow, you know, and all of that has been happening in the last, since about October 2019, there's been a huge change in everything. And the stepping out, stepping away from situations, stepping away from certain things, certain people. There's lots of things, so many things. But I know that when I was at that point in the woods on that day, and they said, trust, you have a purpose. You cannot fully understand, but trust us, and you are held. And I did. And it was the best thing that I did, was just get up and trust. So I know that there's many reasons why I'm here, and we're all here right now for these times, and we're all playing our parts. Every single person on this planet, we're all playing our part to shift consciousness and shift awareness. And I see a beautiful world ahead of us, but we have to change it in order to change, like any birth. And it is a birth, isn't it? It is a birth. We're creating new world, and new world we're birthing. Birthing isn't easy. Birthing is not easy. And I know that because if you like, I've shed so much of the old me, and I feel like I'm rebirthing, you know, and I've got so much more to do in me, so much more to do. But that's what I feel. And I feel it every single day. I don't know about yourself, but I feel it every single day. I can feel the frequencies. And although everything on the outside of the matrix looks as if it's chaos, and it is to some degree, there are parts of this world that are in that. But there's also parts of this world that are in incredible spaces, incredible, amazing magic being weaved. And I can feel it. And that's what I hold on to. That's what I hold on to. What an history. What a part of history to be involved in, to be here and witness this. And I often think of my granddad, you know, when he used to tell me about the war that he was in. And he said to me, I hope in your lifetime you never experienced war. And I said to him, I hope I never experienced war either, Granddad. But I know we're in one of a very different type. but we're still in one in a way, you know? And yet, as terrifying it might be for many, to me it's beautiful, because what I'm witnessing is all the things that need to go, that should go and will go eventually, and birth into some amazing, an amazing world. And what I've been witnessing and what they've been sharing to me in my mind, I have no doubt, everything that they've ever said to me, spirit have ever said to me, they've never been wrong yet. And I take great, you know, I do, honestly, my team have never been wrong yet. So,
Wow.
yeah, honestly, I see so much beauty ahead of us. I mean, even to the point of animals will be revered, will be loved, and they are sentient beings, and so they should. So they should be, you know. So there's going to be so many changes to come. And but we are the weavers and the creators, and everyone has to play, everyone has a part to play. And some people will lead us, and some people will help and weave and create, and we'll all play our part in whatever that might be, you know. Yeah, I've had my feet on the ground for a long time, and I've marched, and I will, you know, I've marched in my own tune, my own song, and never been able to deal with injustices. Denise ever used to say to me, you should be a union rep, you should speak for other people, you're always backing people up, because I can't stand injustices, I can't stand the wrongdoing of people, you know. So I was always fighting for people, I was always doing that, always mothering always.
And not everyone's part is to be seen either.
No.
For those that are not getting that call, that's absolutely fine.
Absolutely.
You know, we've all got our roles to play. And for me, it's about being the change, you know, this expression that I'm sure we all are familiar about, being the change that you want to see, that actually it's not about all that out there changing, really. It's about changing in here, and then all that out there does change.
Exactly. Because this is the thing, I think it's a much bigger topic than you can ever cover in a show, but you can touch some of it, can't you? You can express some of it. And for me, I've witnessed so much in the last 20 years of how the family, the nuclear family has changed so much, that there's been so much pressure for parents to work and children to not have, and so much pressure on everybody, and the whole setup has changed so. But I honestly believe that, I've said it many times, and I will say, you know, I'll say it again, we've all got our part to play. Just, I'm in this place, this is my reality, this is my reality. Somebody else will have a completely different reality, they'll have a completely different view on everything I've spoken of, you know, and that's okay, that's absolutely okay. But we have every single individual, and that's how I view it. So I send love to everybody, even if I don't see people and witness people and share time with them like I used to do, because other things have come my way and taken me in a slightly different direction. That love isn't lost, that love's still there, that care is still there, and they're doing their bit and I'm doing mine, and that's what it is, you know. But I feel very blessed. I feel hugely blessed to be here, and to be as strong as I feel in my mind, and as well as my, you know, my physical, everything, you know. I do genuinely feel blessed to be here in these times. What a thing to be able to witness, you know. And maybe when I'm old and grey, you know, and I'm asked by my grandchildren or great grandchildren, what did you do in these times? I can share.
Wow.
And I didn't stay quiet, I didn't stay silent, I didn't just sit back and witness, because I personally for me had to do what I was called to do, you know. That's it. I want to be able to say that to my grandchildren, like my granddad said to me, you know, I fought for you to have freedom today. My granddad said that to me. I fought for you to have freedom today, and I hope in my lifetime, in your lifetime, you never have to witness anything like that again. So here we are. Here we are.
And thank you for sharing that story as well, because that was there's so many levels to that story. And, you know, your dark night of the soul, which tends to be longer than a night as well. It's, you know,
Oh yes,
it's often a few
yeah.
years before that breakthrough.
Yeah.
But wow, what an incredible breakthrough. And I think a lot of people will take inspiration from that. So thank you.
You're
And
so welcome.
sometimes people see people that are doing okay and assume that that's how it's always been.
I know. And I mean, I've been very privileged because my story was, I was asked if I would like to share my story in a book, and which I did. It was a part of a collection of stories, inspirational stories from people that had been in that specific place and had come back and become and shared their, you know, changed their lives and other people's in coming back stronger, and you know, and I've spoken to many people that have been in those places, and because of that, I have, I think, quite a bit of empathy when I get people sitting with me that have lost loved ones and they're in the darkest of places, and I can kind of have some understanding and some empathy and understanding of that. It's given me a different perspective on life, Denise. You know, it really has. I know what it is to be at the end, at the edge of a precipice, and know to be, I mean, literally, this is why I don't even be able to see it, this my tattoo, which is a water lily. And that is my reminder, because a water lily lives in the muck and down in the very, very depths of the pond, where everything, the silt and everything sits. And it's not a very nice place to be. It sits at the very, very bottom. And then it looks for the light, and it works its way up to the light. And then when it works its way up to the light, as it touches the water, it begins to bud out. And then as it hits the light, it creates, and out comes this amazing, beautiful flower to be witnessed by everyone who's lucky enough to see. And that's my reminder that that's what happened to me. I was in the darkest of places and couldn't see the light, and then looked for the light, and I found it in me. I found it in me.
Amazing. And sometimes it's about asking too, isn't it? It's about that call out for help.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I did. It's a very profound place to find yourself in, you know, and anybody that's going through that right now, if they're listening to this or they feel inspired to share because of my sharing, just know that there is always a way. There is always a way. There is always someone who is willing to listen. Just if you feel compelled, please share how you're feeling, you know, because there is always somebody who's experienced something, and what you feel like now, right now in that moment, what feels like an eternity of things that you cannot control, and you may be in the darkest of places. Just know that there is something so much more beautiful if you just hold on and look for the light, because we've all got the light within us. We really are, you know. Yeah, my story, I suppose my life is like everybody's lives is weaving. We're all weaving experiences, you know. And what I am right now, I've never experienced what I'm experiencing now, in terms of the things that are showing up, the things that I'm letting go of, and the things that are coming in, and the people that are coming in, and the experiences and the knowledge and the new and everything. It feels really, really exciting. It does. It feels really, really exciting. And yeah, I keep saying it all the time. I do. I feel totally blessed. And there's no other way of explaining it. I don't think we can find the words sometimes to express how we actually feel. And now I'm blessed to have 2 grandchildren. And they are another reason for me to keep shining, keep being the light, keep being the joy, holding them, hugging them, kissing them, making sure that they know, you know, how important they are. They have got a place. They're in a world, and they're surrounded by love, and that's so important. So I'm very blessed because I have my grandchildren, and they're the anchor as well. Children are such an anchor, you know. You know, they really bring you down to earth. They really do. And I'm very lucky because lots of unique things have happened to me in my lifetime, and number 7 seems to follow me around quite a lot. If anybody who knows me will know 7 is a big number. I got engaged on the 7th. Me and my husband moved in together on the 7th. We've moved house on the 7th. We've moved in a house and out of a house on the 7th. We've lived at number 77. We've lived at houses with 7 in it. And I've got jobs on the 7th. And my grandson was born on the 7th. My granddaughter was born on the 7th. And there were 7 years between them.
Wow.
I know. So there's so many things that as connected to that number as well. And I know, you know, they say, is it 777 is Christ's number, Christ-like number, and that's my children, literally my grandchildren were born 7th of November, 7th of December, 7 years apart. And my granddaughter was born she was born in water, and she was born in the cow. So she was in the amniote sac, which is very rare. And she was born in that as well. So she's magic. She's got a little twinkle in her eye.
Wow. I'm getting the nudge to see if there is any light language wishing to come through. How's that feeling for you?
There's a heart opening for sure. Well, it has been open the whole time we've been together. And yeah, I might see if we can have a little piece.
Shall I share some and then
Yeah,
see them on?
And then see if anything comes for me. Yes, that would be lovely.
So I welcome us all to bring our awareness back to our hearts. And I'm feeling the energy of Glastonbury really strongly just now. And the tour. Hol ikide enomokul ik isht hol barataka nde I it od sht aranakia lekia ol a nte ulekia maa kulekian aisht urna a hulekile in out o hula haran neki betarasta ta a oi ai 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 Over to you, Bev, if you feel to.
Thank you. Korena kiana stanakaya. Tuyeni kiana tuyana maha. Suyene kirana. Kuyana harayina. Tuyena karahana kut uyena ki ishkanana. Tuyene kiana korutoyini kanaha. Kurayana viina kata ana makushka. Tiina ki art uki arka. Korana ki ana ta ama kushka. Suyana ki ana tata ama ta ai kut ui. Suyana ki ana karana kurut ina ka kurut i. Sukina kana harata ana kurut ina ki ina. Suyana hi ana ka. Suyana hi ana kana hana kutushka na i. Ruta ana ni kana na arama apa kutushka. Siyana ki ina ka. Kurani ina kurut ak kurut ina. Suyana ki ana. Suyana ki ana. Suyana ikana.
So let us all just, with our awareness in our hearts, feeling that grounded and anchored connection to the heart of Gaia, the heart of the sun and the heart of Source Creator. Taking a few long and slow deep breaths. And I invite us to drink some water. That was a really beautiful sharing of light language, Bev. Thank you. That was really powerful.
Thank you. It's the letting go. It comes in so quick sometimes you can't even catch yourself, you know. Yeah, it's about this second time I've done a live. Yeah, it was beautiful, and thank you for yours equally.
And thank you. I feel privileged that you've allowed this to be a space that you've chosen to share that in. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody who's watched and who's commented as well. I will get back to those comments later. Might need to lie down after this, put my feet on the ground and drink plenty of water.
Yes, I mean, my feet have been barefoot the whole time on the ground. The space that I'm in, it's been created, it's in my garden, and it's called the Healing Tree. I am and we are the healing trees. We're part of creation, we're part of the, you know, tree of life, and it has all beautiful crystals in the foundations, and it's a really beautiful place to be in. So I'm working this evening, so I'm going to be spending time with spirit and spending time with people, and tomorrow as well, and then I've got trance tomorrow evening, and then I head off very early on Friday morning. I'm going to have to get up and let on the road about 5:30 in the morning, so that should be interesting. A long day as well, a long day, but you know, time is nothing. Time is nothing. It's just an aspect, isn't it? Linear time, it's just nothing.
Just before we close as well, just let people know the best way to get hold of you.
Oh yeah, okay, so probably the most easiest way is through Messenger on Facebook. I have got Instagram as well, but just Facebook mainly, I would say. And most people, if they send me a message, I'll send them all the other details, what it is I do and where I share, where I'm located. So yeah, thank you for that. And thank you for today. It's been a pleasure being on your show, privileged to be asked to be a guest.
My absolute pleasure. And yeah, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the trance mediumship that you're doing.
No, that's okay.
And I really recommend, you know, as I can't remember if I said on this live or if it was just the one previously, that I received a reading from you, and it was really awesome. It was really, and you know, sometimes we can all do this ourselves, but sometimes when it's about us, it helps to have someone external giving us information.
I always say that we can do it ourselves, but it's really nice to get that validation of someone who doesn't know about your private life and about memories and people that you've spent time with in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of spirit, you know, they they have an amazing ability to be able to give us healing and give us, you know, give us peace that they're okay and that they still walk with us and they still connect to us. And yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah, so many lovely things I'm able to do in this lifetime. You know, if you'd have said to me 20 years ago, this is what you'll be doing in your late 50s, I'd have gone, oh, I don't know about that, because I was riding motorbikes and and listening to live music, drinking beer, swearing, and having a whole time. It's a totally different lifetime. You know.
And I just want to say as well, honouring you for the difference in your energy. Your energy was amazing when I had that reading, but it's on a whole other level now, and I just want to reflect that back to you.
Oh, thank you, Denise. Absolutely, that's so lovely. Thank you so much. I feel as if I've really grown and I've really started to, you know, come into my own, you know, and I'm witnessing so much, and I'm, like I say, totally great, and so much gratitude. I could never have envisaged this in 2013. I could never have seen any of this. You know, we have to sometimes go to those places and then we have to work through them to find the beauty and to find the you know, those nuggets. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. And thank you everybody for taking the time to come and see us. And I mean, I know you normally shout out if anybody's on the replay to let you know, so that you can know where we're reaching, the people we're reaching, which is lovely.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to everybody that's watched live or on the replay. And if you feel to share this on, if you feel this will help people that you know in different groups, then that is always really gratefully received. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. I'm not sure who with yet. There's a few people in the offing. I'm going to stop the live stream. Much love to everybody. Thank you, Bev.
And to you as well. Thank you.